Hello everyone, and in today's video we're going to talk about all the different advantages you can get by using keyboard or controller in Trackmania. So the reason why there is a difference between controller and keyboard is that because when you steer on keyboard you have to full steer unless you're using action keys, which limits your steering percentage. But sometimes it can be good to have that instant steering. So I'm now going to take a look at the different scenarios where keyboard and controller have a big enough difference to be relevant. So first we're gonna take a look at full speed. To go fast on full speed, it requires you to do speed slides. And speed slides are performed by holding a specific angle on your keyboard or controller. But since keyboard can't hold that angle, you have to tap. But tapping is not necessarily bad while performing speed slides. It can actually be better. And the reason why I say it can be better is because what you're seeing on screen right now, yes, they are the perfect speed slides, but actually hitting those exact spots are very difficult. And by tapping, you hit those spots a lot more than if you were to try to actually hit them perfectly with the controller. There are actually many controller players that tap as well. Now when we get full speed out of the way, let's go talk about no sliding. No sliding is a technique performed by steering just enough for your car to not start sliding. And this is used on plastic, dirt and grass. And the reason why this is good, why this is faster, is because when you're sliding under 200 speed, you lose speed. But when you slide over 200 speed, you gain speed. So by performing a no slide, you avoid sliding and gain more speed. This technique is very hard to do on keyboard because, like I said earlier, you have to full steer or use action keys. And it's not always that the action key works to no slide. Sometimes on keyboard, it's not even possible to do the no slide, so you just have to take the penalty and start sliding. But controller on the other hand is a lot easier, because on controller you can choose exactly what steering you want. Now let's talk about some ice. When driving on ice, full steer is the fastest way to go, which means that keyboard is the fastest here. But that doesn't mean that controller can't be fast too. The only situation where full steer is not the fastest anymore is when you're driving in bobsleigh under 400 speed. Then you want to action key 4. So now when we have talked about the different advantages that keyboard and controller have, what is actually the best to use? I think me and many other Trackmania players out there would have the same answer to this. And the answer is that there is no better input really, it's all about your personal preference and what your background is in gaming. If you've played a bunch of games on controller before, you should stick with controller. And if you use the keyboard, go with that. Because if you think that controller is better out of from what I've just told you right now, you shouldn't just switch to controller if you've never played controller before. Then it's a lot better to stick with keyboard if that's what you're used to. You shouldn't put yourself out of your comfort zone just for an input device. I really hope this video made you understand more about pros and cons about keyboard and controller. And if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments and I'll respond as quickly as I can. And with all this being said, I hope you guys have a good day or night, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.